We're Josh and Erica. If you've been following along with us for a while now, you may have noticed that not only do we love new experiences in traveling, but we also love food. Cooking is one of my personal passions, and we as a couple love finding the best places to eat when we travel. We're on the hunt to find the most well-known food in each state, starting with Pennsylvania. The first stop on our PA food tour starts in Philadelphia, where we will be getting none other than the Philadelphia cheesesteak.
Of course.
Basically, there's like 15 best places to go to, so we are currently with our friends Jeremy and Corinne, and they are taking us to
Sonny's famous cheesesteaks and burgers,
which is right behind us. So we're gonna go try it. Neither one of us have had a proper cheesesteak in our entire lives before, so this is our first impression of a cheesesteak.
Deliciousness. Look at it steaming. So good. So my go-to order is just a plain old regular cheesesteak. And my husband often likes all the vegetables on it, and I've been leaning towards that as well.
What cheese do you go with?
I always go with provolone. I don't know how I feel about the Cheese Whiz.
So I got the classic cheesesteak with provolone with really nothing on it, just the meat. And wait, there's mushrooms in it though. There's one mushroom, never mind. It was a little mistake of theirs, I suppose. But this looks amazing. Okay, so I was expecting it to be like dry, but it's actually like cooked really well, and the cheese is perfect on it. I would be very curious to see how the other cheeses are. So there's like Cheese Whiz that you can put on it, American. I don't know, the provolone's pretty good and probably would be pretty hard to beat.
I got the loaded one with American cheese. The flavor is really good. The cheese is melted and exploded in my mouth. It's solid. I think the veggies was the move. The mixture of flavors combines. There's peppers, onions, and mushrooms on the loaded one. After a few more bites, I didn't get Cheese Whiz, but Cheese Whiz is one of the options. And I could see how that works because the cheese melts everything together into like a Cheese Whiz texture. But the peppers are still the move. I think they have some banana peppers. It just adds one more depth of flavor to it.
Philadelphia is one of the oldest cities in the US, so we saw a lot of history walking the streets.
We left Philly. We got the Philly cheesesteak, of course, because when it went in Philly, you have to get the Philly cheesesteak. That was my and Erica's first time trying it. We both really liked it. We both agree that if we were to order it again, we would go with the fully loaded, so the peppers, the mushrooms, the onions, with the provolone cheese. The vegetables and the onions add some like juiciness to the steak, which really amps up the flavor and adds a little bit more, so we like that. And we like the provolone cheese with it. We left the eastern side of PA. Now we're heading through the Amish middle part of PA to get a more traditional PA Amish food, shoofly pie, which I have had only one time and Erica has never had.
We just passed a sign that said this is America's best shoofly pie. So that is a big say right there.
They have whoopie pies here, which that's another Pennsylvania thing, isn't it? Yeah, we're getting some whoopie pies too. Look at that whipped cream.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
They just kept squirting it on. I'm so excited. First of all, they asked, do you want one swirl of whipped cream or two? And I said two, and they gave me like 7, but I'm okay with it. All right, so I asked like what all is in here because like Josh said, I've never had this before. There is molasses and brown sugar and cinnamon, and then the pie is pretty much your, I guess, basic pie crust, but she said something like shortening and everything. But molasses, brown sugar, and cinnamon is what is the filling here. And just look at how delicious that looks.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh tried it, but I'm gonna try it for the first time in my life. Oh, and we got whoopie pies, which we need to try too.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go on for a second bite. Hold on. That might be the best pie I've ever had. Before I ate this, I didn't even know what molasses tasted like really. I know I've had it in things, but I just couldn't put my finger on what it was. This is delicious. Okay, so there's like this crumble topping on top here, if you can see. So this crumble topping mixes so well with like the soft, ooey, gooey inside, and then the pie crust itself is just the perfect consistency. The sugar almost like melts on the bottom of the pie crust to make this like caramelized effect, and all together with the whipped cream, you can't do it without the whipped cream, is so good. They warm it up for you. I've never had a shoofly pie in my life, but that's probably the best one that there is.
Ooh, that one is really good. It's similar to the insides of a pecan pie, or pecan, whatever you guys say, but brown sugar and cinnamon, like a Pop-Tart, like a brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tart.
But better.
But better. Warmed up with the whipped cream. Have to get whipped cream on it. That's really good, actually.
Right?
That's really good.
I know.
Sorry you guys can't taste this. We got 3 different whoopie pies because there was a deal, so we had to get 3, of course. And I typically have only seen them with this chocolate and regular frosting on the inside. But we got a chocolate, a peanut butter, and a red velvet whoopie pie. This is just the traditional, or what I call traditional, just chocolate outside, regular cream filling on the inside. That filling is so sweet. And the outside is more like a macaroon than I've had it in the past. In the past, it's more like cake. But this is like a macaroon, and I kind of like it. It's like a little crispy on the outside, but then soft on the inside.
It's so real and authentic and completely different from any of the ones that you get like at a store.
Up next, we got red velvet. It tastes pretty much the same as the first one. The cream is just kind of overpowering. It's just really sweet. It's really good.
Yeah, Josh is right. Like, this tastes pretty similar to the first one, but still delicious.
This one has peanut butter filling, so the filling is different, but the outside's the same now. This one feels more like a one of them chocolate peanut butter Girl Scout cookies, like a really big one of those. The peanut butter inside is really good. It's like creamy peanut butter, and then the chocolate pairs nicely with it, of course.
The cream on the inside of this one is a lot less sweet, so it's a little bit more bearable to just eat on its own. Which one's your favorite?
I think I like the chocolate peanut butter one the best.
I think my favorite has to be the first one, the chocolate.
Really?
Classic chocolate. One thing that's kind of unrelated to the food aspect of this video is that this is my first time actually seeing the trees changed colors for the fall this season. And of course it's in Pennsylvania, not where we're from, so it's amazing. I'm very happy about it.
To avoid the Pennsylvania tolls, we drove through Maryland and West Virginia, then came back up into Pennsylvania to get to our third and final stop of our PA food tour, which was just south of my hometown, Pittsburgh. It's a famous sandwich shop that every Yinzer knows and loves. Alright, we made it to my stomping grounds, Western Pennsylvania, and of course we have to hit up Primanti Brothers. Now this isn't the original Primanti Bros, and we have had Primantis before, but I'm gonna try to get the original sandwich, which I believe is pastrami, but we're gonna double check on that once we get in there.
I do just have to preface this by saying I've had this once in my life before with Josh. I got the Pittsburgh or something like that, and I hated it. I think there was some sort of seasoning in the coleslaw that I didn't like, which I thought tasted like horseradish, and I just don't like horseradish. I also thought that the burger itself was really gross. So I have pretty low expectations for this tasting right now, but maybe the original sandwich is going to be different, but let's go find out.
Primanti Brothers sandwiches are made with fries and coleslaw. This started so that workers who wanted a quick bite to eat could eat their whole meal with one hand. This is the steak and cheese. which is almost like a Philly and cheese. That's why I got it, Philly cheesesteak. That's actually so good. That meat is actually really good. I mean, I'm biased, but that is a really good sandwich. Steak, fries, coleslaw, tomato. I always put fries on everything and coleslaw on everything. That's why I love it.
Okay, so I got the original, which is the pastrami and cheese sandwich. And so, like I said, I didn't like this last time, but this one actually looks kind of decent. The bread is very soft, so I'm just gonna go for it. I also got coleslaw on the side because I was afraid if there was horseradish in it, but I'm gonna try it in a second. This is a lot better than the burger one that I got. I don't know if I've ever had pastrami before, but it's almost kind of like smoky. It has a really good flavor in there. Hold on. I would say it's like smoky. And the fries do work on the sandwich. I do feel like it's a lot of carb action going on here. But you know what? This is a lot better than my first reaction, or whatever you want to call it, to the very first Primanti Brothers experience that I had. So I'll take it.
Out of the two, my favorite was the steak and cheese.
I would say the original would be my favorite. Josh is shaking his head no, but whatever. So coming in with low expectations, they definitely exceeded my expectations a little bit. I just think it's one of those meals where, you know, like in the moment when you're hungry, you're eating it, you're like, yeah, this is really good. And then as soon as you leave and like let it all sit and rest a little bit, then you're like, ooh, that wasn't as good as I thought it was. So for that reason, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. The pie was a 10 out of 10. The Philly cheesesteak was probably like an 8 or 9 out of 10, 8.5. And then this one was definitely more like 5 or 6 out of 10 for me.
As a Pittsburgher, I'm a little biased, but comparing the Philly cheesesteak and the Primanti Bros, I have to go with the Primanti Bros. That Angus steak with the fries and the coleslaw is good. Erica doesn't know what she's talking about because she's not from Pittsburgh. She doesn't know what coleslaw and fries on sandwich is supposed to be like. I give it a thumbs up. This is the very area where Nicolas Cage found Benjamin Franklin's glasses.
That's what you care about?
Look through your water bottle at the dollar.
What time is it? The sun's not out.
You're not taking into account daylight savings time.